when I say relationships aren't real, there's no depth to a relationship. Like, for example, I talk to people, I say, what do you want out of a relationship? They say, I don't know. Or they say, I want somebody to care about me. I want somebody to cuddle me. I want somebody to spend time with and go on cute dates with. I want to have sex with somebody. It's like, hold on a second. Any human being can provide that to you. And so that's your standard for a relationship. If there's no more depth than that, it's not that you have like a poor foundation for your relationship. You don't have a foundation. If you have left a relationship partner before, or they've left you, and you go, I hate my ex-girlfriend, I hate my ex-boyfriend, you were not in a real relationship. Because if you were, whether they left or you left, you'd still wish the best for them as an individual. A real relationship is open communication about everything that you're experiencing. And so the men might come on here and say, well, every time I've opened up to a woman, she uses it against me, or she leaves me, or she thinks I'm less than a man. That is not the type of woman you want to be around. Oh, but she's the love of my life. No, she's not. Because if she was, she wouldn't be doing that to you. A feminine, powerful woman would be able to hold the space for you. Would to be like, hey, Brad, like, I hear you're going through this right now. Now, I'm not saying as a man, like, cry your eyes out and tell your girlfriend how horrible your life is, because, yeah, that most definitely make her not feel secure in the relationship or with you, or that you can protect her, and then she'll leave the relationship and find somebody else. But there's reflection there. When you talk about vulnerability, that's what people jump to. I can't do that. It's like, you don't have to cry in front of your woman. If it happens once in a blue moon, it's like, okay, but the thing that you're crying about has to be valid. All of your emotional experiences are valid, but if there's this one situation you're just crying about and bitching about, and the answer is right in front of you, and you instantly bring that to your woman, and she can see that the answer is right there, you're just not doing anything about it, she's going to view you as less of a man because you're not doing anything. Your parents die, and you go cry in front of your girlfriend. It's like, if your girlfriend views you as less of a man for crying because your parents died, she needs to be kicked out absolutely immediately. Most of us aren't in real relationships because we lack depth, exactly what you said. And so we need to start to establish, what are my values? What do I really want in a person? I value someone who's really honest. I value someone who's open about every single thing. I value someone who's authentic about every part of themselves. I value somebody who presents everything to me, and we work through this together. For example, one of my biggest values is self-growth. Growing by ourselves separately and coming together and growing together. If that is not present in my relationship, it doesn't work. I've tried it before. I've tried it like 3 or 4 times before, and all of those relationships failed. Because in the back of my mind knew what I wanted, and then in one of my relationships specifically, I tried to change her. What I would word that as, I tried to help her evolve. She did not want to. And so the relationship failed. A lot of people are like, oh, you can't change women. Oh, you can't change a man. It's like, no, you can't. But you can help someone evolve if there's incongruencies within them, and they are focused on growth too. And so it's like, if you guys are focused on growth in your lives, you come together, and when my insecurity comes up, my girl lets me know. And then I'm aware of it, like, oh yeah, I need to improve upon that. And when she has an overreaction to something, it's like, okay, let's dive into that. Oh, you get so angry about this because your dad used to get mad at you all the time? Okay, I understand that. Like, let's work through that. Let me hold the space for you. Let's grow together. Let's overcome our insecurities together. Let's grow and gain the deepest connection possible. The reason we don't have real relationships is because we're not being fully open. And so there's these dark parts that come up and come out of ourselves, and we express them to our partners, and it's usually not in a healthy light. This comes out in screamy arguments, getting super upset with them. First off, we all grew up watching Disney movies. Disney movies project the ideal, and that's why we like Disney movies, because they show us parts of ourselves. So we grow up having this perception of, this is how relationships should be. This is the ideal that we want to work towards. Yet, once you stop watching the movie and you come back to reality, you look at your parents, you look at everybody you know who's in a marriage and a relationship, and you see them yelling at each other. And you see them disagreeing on everything. All the dark parts of themselves come up. And you go, well, I thought, like, the ideal for a relationship, like, this is what a perfect, healthy relationship is like on the Disney movie, but this is not matching up with what my parents do. And so your mind gets confused. Well, actually, I think Disney movies portray that there are challenges and that you work through those together in a partnership. But that's incongruent with reality. And what I mean by that is not that it's not possible in reality and that it's not currently happening, because it is with certain individuals. But if you look at statistics, most relationships fail. Most people aren't having sex anymore. Most marriages are ending in divorce. And so when this is your perception of life, that's how you go about your relationships. Our first example of a relationship is our parents. Most people's parents are divorced. And so what is the first example of a fulfilling relationship? It's not a fulfilling relationship. And so you see your parents fight, you see them argue, you see them disconnected, you see them not in a household together. You got to travel between 2 places so that you can see your parents. You go and see your parents, your mom's talking shit about your dad's talking shit about your mom, and now you're like, well, relationships just suck. And so then what do? You go in your teenage years, you mature a little bit, you become a little bit horny, then you start hooking up with people. And then, because you're so afraid of your relationship turning out like your parents, you feel like you can't be open with people. The girls have daddy issues. What we don't account for is that men have mommy issues too. If your relationships are not working out in the way that you would like them to, go and look at your relationship with your mother and your father. These are going to bring a lot of light into how you act in your romantic relationships. You feel like people walk all over you. You feel like you can't speak up for yourself. Let's say you're a man. Did your dad speak up to your mother when she would yell at him? Oh, he didn't. Where are you getting that example from? Him. If you're a woman, your father would always talk down to your mother. You notice you're in relationships where your boyfriend is always talking down to you and you're taking it, and you're not standing up for yourself, and you're not leaving the relationship. Why is that? Because you witnessed that in your parents. So you unconsciously think this is how a relationship operates. Toxicity has become the normal because most people's relationships are unhealthy, and we think it's okay.